What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapachet, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you once more for stopping by on this lovely, nice and toasty WrestleMania Sunday, WrestleMania weekend, y'all. If y'all like to watch wrestling, the pro wrestling, or sports entertainment, as Instagram would like to call it. You guys know that it's WrestleMania weekend, and yes, that is WrestleMania weekend here in Las Vegas. For some reason, beginning 2020, the COVID days, WWE decided to go with a 2-day WrestleMania event, which sucks. Now it just feels like East DC. Pretty much. I tried taking a look at tickets. Holy hell, they're pricey as hell. I didn't even know this, but apparently you can buy a tomahawk steak at Allegiant Stadium for WrestleMania weekend, everybody. I didn't even know you can do that. The only time I've ever purchased a tomahawk steak is when I have a table to eat it at. I don't know if these guys have one, but if they go back to their seat in the stadium, they wouldn't have that. But you guys can definitely catch up on your WrestleMania on other channels, because we talk about boxing here, even though there are plenty of boxers at the WrestleMania. Andrew and I were talking about that right before we got on the air here, seeing guys like Berlanga and Emiliano Vargas at WrestleMania. Yeah, they seem to be fans of those as well. But we are here to chit chat about the inner workings of professional boxing. A lot of stuff that's going on that we wanted to bring up and throw in our 2 cents, as we like to do. Of course, the major news of the week, one of the topics we're going to be kicking the show off of is Conor Benn signing a new deal. Maybe the deal was already there. We don't know. But a 5-fight deal with Zuffa. And according to Dana White, they're looking at Ryan Garcia for the next opponent, for Conor Benn's next opponent. We talked about it shortly, or we talked about it for a little bit last week, that according to the WBC, Conor Benn is the #1 contender. So it looks like we might actually get that going. But again, Zuffa doesn't care about belts, right? Somehow we're in here. But regardless, we're going to kick the show off for that. Some updates on David Benavidez and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. It looks like their pay-per-view is a little pricey. I don't know if you guys want to check that out. I won't reveal the price yet. I'm sure you guys can find it online, but it's going to be a nice hefty one, just as much as probably food at Allegiant Stadium for WrestleMania would cost. But we're talking about the pay-per-view price and ticket sales, which apparently are a little slow. We're going to be definitely digging into that, digging our teeth into that topic. Speaking of a little slow, it looks like the Saudi investment fund is starting to pull back their funds. I mean, I guess they've been doing this for a while, and we can kind of sort of see it, right? This has been a topic of conversation for several weeks now, so we're going to be talking about that, because who decided to throw it into their clapback? But none other than our good man, Oscar De La Hoya. And a little warning he throws out to fighters who have in mind signing with Zuffa. A little bit of an update, but not really, from for the Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao rematch. Just a little cryptic message, I guess. Social media post by one Fight Hype that we're going to be talking about, and wondering what they mean. And let's see if we can kind of put the connect the dots and see what exactly they're referring to. And lastly, it looks like we might actually get Fury and AJ later on this autumn, at least according to Netflix. They intend to have this fight, according to one of the recent social media posts, later in the year, the autumn, in the UK. Now, we're going to be talking about what that means and whether or not we'll actually get to it, because we all know AJ has in mind a tune-up fight before then. We don't know against who yet, but that could be quite the hurdle, at least based off of history, his track record with these type of fights. All right. Before we get on to that, we will be doing a Wednesday show in regards to the fight coming up. There's going to be Gerald Miller is going to be fighting here in Vegas later this weekend, or I guess next Saturday. So we're going to be talking about that one on that show. But before we get crack-a-lackin', as always, a word from our video sponsor, Health E Sol, or Health Y Sol, tallow-based products and tallow-based soap in particular. If you want to check them out and happen to see anything you might want to try, make sure to use the code MADBoxing10 at checkout, or follow the link, the affiliate link that's going to be in the description of this video, and get the same 10% off of there. Make sure to try lavender patchouli. That's my favorite one. It's a lavender patchouli scented soap, tallow-based soap. So make sure to give them a try. Once more, healthisol or healthysol.com. Alrighty. So, um, as with most of the major news, I'm a little skeptical on this one on whether or not it's a new deal. We're still sort of kind of waiting to see if Eddie Hearn can dig up any more information in regards to Conor Benn's first deal with Zuffa, which was supposed to have been a one-fight deal for $15 million, right, against Regis Prograis, which he ultimately did win. Didn't look the best, but ultimately did come out with an easy victory. Definitely makes you wonder what if the eggs had anything to do with it, or maybe dropping back down in weight after fighting at middleweight, a bunch of other things. But we're gonna get crack-a-lackin' with this here. A quote from Dana White saying, "I'm in the business right now to make the fights people want to see regarding boxing. The sport is way more broken than I even thought it was. I've already done more fights in my first year than all the promoters combined." Now, if Dana White, when he says broken, if what he means is he's not able to get the stuff done what in boxing what he's able to do in MMA, then I guess that does make sense. If that's what he means by broken, he just can't just come in here and do whatever the hell he wants the way he could in mixed martial arts. So I suppose that is exactly what he meant there. But according to a recent post, Conor Benn has signed a new deal with Zuffa for 5 fights, which is a long-term deal. And it seems as though his first opponent, or at least that's what Dana White said, they're eyeing WBC welterweight champion Ryan Garcia. Now, when I first read this, I thought to myself, was this deal always in place? Was it already here? Was it always here, I should say? And it just nothing that was disclosed. We're just kind of speculating, really, because knowing Zuffa, knowing Dana, they don't do one fight deals. So it definitely seems strange that that was something that they did with Conor Benn, on top of the fact that they were throwing supposedly $50 million at him. Now there is this second deal for 5 fights, a long-term deal. It makes more sense, the $15 million now, but whether or not that's a first deal or not, again, we're still sort of waiting. We thought that Eddie Hearn was going to make the attempt to try to dig up the dirt, try to get some more information on it, and maybe he's still in the process of doing that. But we have yet to hear what he might have discovered that we don't know yet. Andrew, I'm going to bring you in on this topic here.
And as Miguel's going to bring me on, his computer decides to freeze. Give him a few minutes to come back. What's up, you guys? Come on, Miguel. Computer's awesome. All right. Well, he was talking about Conor Benn, correct? Oh, we're talking about the signing. First off, I think we're thinking too much of the Conor Benn signing from an MMA perspective. It's not hard to believe to me that Conor Benn signed a one fight deal for Zuffa. Look, De La Hoya had come out and told us that Zuffa was trying to make moves in the boxing world. There was a lot of pushback in that Turkey was the one that was going to actually be signing some of these bigger names that Zuffa was going to get here, leading up to where we're at right now. And in reality, they still only signed what? Conor Benn. So I don't know if Oscar was wrong on that. I honestly I do think that Zuffa is being funded by Turkey the whole, whoever's signing with Turkey and is not a part of the Zuffa um, ranking system, the Dana White Zuffa, then you're signed to Turkey and you're making big money. And
Okay,
thank you.
I'm
As
back.
Miguel comes back, I
All
didn't
right.
want to go too far because I was like, he's gonna make me repeat it all.
Most likely, yes.
Hey, hey, hey.
All right. So I don't know where I got cut off, but basically, I was throwing it over to you. Did we believe that this is a new deal or no?
Yes, I do believe it was a new deal. Um, I think we're thinking or you're thinking of it too far of Zuffa, the MMA company. Oh, they don't do one fight deals for this much money, yada yada yada. Um, Oscar told us that Zuffa is funded by Turkey, right? So it's
Mm.
not the UFC that's actually making these decisions. It's the guy that's funding the money, in my opinion. That's going to be Turkey. We knew for a fact that there's two sides of Zuffa right now. There's the $10 million Dana White side that they get 10 million a year and they're supposed to put on fights in a ranking system and have a belt and yada yada yada. That's Dana White's project right there. Anything on the other side of that envelope has nothing to do with Dana White. And I'm talking about Canelo versus Crawford. Stop it. TKO and Dana White had nothing to do with that fight. They didn't fund the fight. They didn't pay the fighters. None of the above. You're foolish if you think they did. And we've been told that. That's not just me coming out here right now and going, oh, it's not them, you guys. We've been told that by many insiders in sport. Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya. We haven't seen Dana White come out and dispute any of it, right?
Mm.
So not far-fetched. Um, Conor Benn, to me, nobody's going to pay Conor Benn the money that Zuffa paid him, right? So
Mm.
he's in a league of his own with Zuffa right there. I'm sure that next day after he became a free agent, his phone lit up with guys that just wanted to sign him at $15 million a fight. As a matter of fact, at $8 million a fight, I think you're still going to find it hard for a guy that wants to sign him. It's possible it's a one fight deal with Conor. His next fight might be his last one as far as marketing goes, right?
Mm.
There's a lot of people in England that already consider him um, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. of the UK side, right? Busted on steroids twice, hasn't looked good since the performance enhancing thing. Now he's just a son following his dad's footsteps, making money off the dad. Like, let him lose to Ryan, bro. What do you think the next day is going to look like for Conor Benn on the internet? Right? So
Yeah.
this could be a one fight deal. What do you sign with 5? Where do you see 5 fights with this guy? What, comeback fights? Are we doing the Anthony Joshua route? We'll have one title shot and one comeback fight every time?
Mm.
Come on now.
Are we doing two warm-ups like Boots? Are we doing the two warm-up fights
Yeah.
before they go in?
Yes. No, exactly. So I think he was in a league of his own. He was always going to go back to, I mean, not he was always going to go back, but it makes sense that he went back. They're overpaying. They still need fighters. Look, you guys, it's still the only person they signed. Have you ever seen a company do 2 headlines with the same guy? We signed him, have one fight, and go, hey, we signed him again. Look how cool we are. No, right? You've never seen Top Rank or any of these guys announce the double signing. So to me, once again, it kind of looks like Zuffa, whoever's running it, looks a little desperate. Where are the major? I thought a takeover happened here. We're in fucking month what? 5? What are we in month 4? Going on
Yeah,
month
the
5?
first event was in January, so
Yeah.
yeah, going
And we're
on.
on event number 5, I think is what I should be saying. Event number
Oh
5
yeah,
is what we're coming into. We're in month number 4. This thing was announced freaking a year ago or so, maybe even longer than a year ago, that TKO or Zuffa was coming. I got to go back to what Eddie said, or yeah, I believe it was Eddie. They're already here. What are we waiting for? When are all these knockout signings? Where are all the star-studded boxers just lined up ready to give over their careers to Zuffa. I'm not even going to see Dana because those fights have nothing to do with Dana White's vision. Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn has nothing to do with Zuffa. That's not what,
Or Dana.
yeah, or Dana. I
Right.
mean, or that Zuffa title, the Zuffa rankings, none of that. It means nothing to none of that. Ryan Garcia laughs at that shit. Suleiman laughs at that shit. De La Hoya laughs at that. You really, dude, might be one of the best fight buildups we've seen in a very long time. You're going to put Oscar and Dana in the same room together?
Right.
I might pay just to watch that one. I might
But
pay to
if Dana
watch.
has anything to do with it, if Dana has anything, because I mean, the interview has him with Connor, right? But he wasn't. I don't remember him being anywhere present at this fight with Regis. So I don't know what the hell it had to do, whether or not he was there or part of it at all. But when I was saying that, I'm thinking, UFC style, that they don't do one fight deals. I'm thinking specifically what Dana does, and that's why I was like, well, Dana is supposedly part of signing Connor. It seems strange that he would agree to a one fight deal. That's why this seems kind of fishy. Again, I'm still basing it off of what I know of Dana in the UFC world. Again, this is a different kind of world, but I figured if he's going to be spearheading this thing, then he would have similar vision, similar concepts, and similar values. He's going to try to go and not do one fight deals. That's why this one, I'm not even sure if it is a second deal. I'm on the impression that it was all part of one fucking deal to begin with. If you think it is a new deal, do you really think that first one was a $15 million one, like
Yes,
the one
because
fight deal? Yeah,
yeah, because they didn't pay it. It's that man that I guess has lost billions of dollars in boxing and other sports. We're gonna get into that later. But this is not the. Remember, we kept talking about all that red that this man Turkey was in every
yeah.
event he puts on. But now, doesn't it seem like they're reporting there's another investment that he has that's all in red and they lost billions and not going to come back? I mean, this is not his first time that we can say, oh man, he picked a bad investment. Remember, we talked about, are these just two young guys with too much money?
Mhm.
Started maybe thinking they were going to start running stuff, not really having an idea of what they're actually doing. Well, we have two sports that they tried taking control of that are right now currently running in the red with a B. A B. Not too many guys keep their job with that one, Miguel. Both companies you invested, both things that you brought under my umbrella are sitting in B's on the red right now. You're fired. How would Trump say it? You're fired.
Yeah. You're fired. I don't know if he's from New York, but I just threw a New York accent in there for no apparent reason. But yeah, no, that's understandable. Okay, so this new fight deal, this new fight deal. I don't know. Supposedly, the first one is Ryan, which is for the WBC belt. That again, Dana and Zuffa said that they weren't going to be part of. They weren't going to recognize and everything.
Can I jump in here?
Please do so.
He told Opatai he was going to fight for a title too. Just saying. Go ahead, keep going.
A Zuffa title? Because I guess he kept his
No,
word there.
they were supposed to be unifying that IBF
Yeah.
too, bro.
They
How
were,
did
yeah.
those plans go? Like, if I'm Opatai right now, I'm a little upset. All this Conor Benn, Ryan Garcia talk. I really would be.
Mm-hmm.
How do I lose my fucking title? The next guy is fighting for the title that he wants.
Do you think Suleiman is going to step in at all here? Like, I mean, he already has Conor as the number one contender, right? So I assume that he's sort of to some degree already on board. But if they come in, Zuffa and Dana, obviously there's already beef there from where they forced Mauricio Suleiman to sit for, I think it was Canelo Crawford, right? So you think he's going to come in and be like, yo, yeah, if y'all ain't going to recognize this belt, what the fuck are we doing this for anyway?
No, I think they will honor Conor's ranking. If they want to put up a fight, they will do it. But they strip him immediately when he breaks the rules. I think that's all that happens here. So it's kind of like
if he gets the belt, because I mean, there's no guarantee
yes.
he'll get the belt.
You're absolutely right on that one. If he was to get the belt and he does not accept the rank, the defense of that title, I don't think there'll be any grace period. They will be stripping these guys immediately, knowing already what kind of contracts they're involved with Zuffa, knowing that they're obligated to meet their opponents before they're obligated to meet the WBC's ranked fighter.
All right, all right. You saw the clip of Dana with Conor, right, talking about wanting to make this fight, and it's kind of funny that, I mean, and it's a topic. It's one of the other topics, right? That the Saudis might be running the well, running a little dry. In that a little interview, or the clip, I guess, with Stephen A. Smith and Conor and Dana, he's like, my job is to make sure that we all make money on this, right? I'm like, well, yeah, of course. I mean, it just seems kind of weird that he happens to bring that up right now at a time where like the Saudis are starting to pull back on their money. It's kind of funny that is what he talked about. It's like, this guy just concentrates on being badass. It's my job to make sure that it's enough money to get everybody, everybody part of the pie, I guess I want to say. But it seems a little strange that that's what he popped up, or what he said, when we're hearing this issue of the Saudis pulling back on some of their funds here. Did that strike you as strange at all, or is it just him talking out of his ass?
When you say who was the one that said that?
Dana, on that
Oh,
when he
that we
was
all
talking,
need to make money.
yeah, he was like, my job is to make sure that this guy gets paid and we all make money. Like, well, yeah,
Yeah, yes, it's a little strange. That is his job, is to make everybody money. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
But no, I think this is more. This is about Turkey's investing. Turkey and the Prince. I don't know how you want to say it. Obviously it's not Turkey making the final decisions, but I
mm,
think the dry up of money has more to do with just stopping the bleeding right now that's going on. Look, WWE numbers are down. That's all I'm hearing right now about WWE. The fans aren't happy with the storylines. The fans aren't happy with the all of a sudden the just the overuse of all the celebrities, right? They've got streamers, they've got actors, they've got a whole bunch of people that are getting involved in wrestling. They think that's too much. Obviously, we hear about the UFC. Paramount released the numbers on, what was it, 327 or so. The last big UFC that happened, 2.5 million. I mean, come on, 2.5 million buys is not a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's half the viewership than when you guys first started at 5 million. So that's a big drop off. What, 3 shows later, we're at half
mm,
the viewership. The ticket sales are in the tank. So TKO as a whole, not doing good,
mm.
right? All these things that they umbrellaed, all these things they brought together, which one of them? I know they like to say that they made billions of dollars, right? But then when you see all this other stuff about ticket sales, fans not being happy, it's like, well, somebody's not making money, right?
Right, yeah.
You can't.
Somewhere there's a ticket not being sold. Somewhere there's a pay-per-view not being purchased. Somewhere.
Yeah, they got it. You can't have both sides. It can't be, oh, we made $1 billion last year, and then on the other side, it's all drying up. So I
Mm,
got to think, because they're pulling back on their funding, money is not as good as maybe being reported by some of these media members, right?
mm,
And honestly, you guys, the internet does reflect what's viral or not. I'm sorry, if you're tuned into the combat world, you're gonna know what fights are big mainstream fights and are getting the people's views, and what's not. It's very easy to call those nowadays, because you'll see one never leaves your feed. If you're
mm,
really tuned into boxing and MMA and something goes viral, you're going to see it on your feed like 1,000 times that night. You know what I'm saying? And you'll know,
mm,
all right, this fucking thing's viral, man. Everybody's posting this. Everyone's talking about it. And then you get the report that it is. And it's a lot easier to see that now. I don't remember the last time boxing or the UFC has kind of moved the needle in that way, without it being what, fucking Jake Paul getting his jaw broken, Jake Paul and
mm,
Mike Tyson's naked butt. I know Canelo versus Crawford did a lot of hits on the internet, but then the pay-per-view, then the numbers weren't as big as Jake Paul's, right? So,
mm.
right, um we know that it's down for TKO right now as a whole. Um Turkey needs to do something with these major signings that he's doing. I don't think it's Dana. Look, I wanted to tell you, Miguel, Dana's nothing more than a face for both companies at this point. He's no longer, he's not a power head. He's not calling shots. He's really on a sinking ship, and he's just collecting checks. Seriously. I think if fucking Turkey told him to hop on one leg, he would. And announce the fights, he would do it. Because what else does he have? The UFC is clearly pushing him out. Maybe they wanted to. Maybe they're forced to because of the gambling ties that these guys seem to have been gotten themselves into. So they had to push him out, right? It's not
and maybe it's time too. Maybe it's time. Like he's taken as far as he can take it. It's time to like tell Fimo Senior, move the fuck out of the way and let them take the rest. But no, I think it's time to, yeah.
And honestly, bro, if these guys behind closed doors, when all the bullshit gets put aside, and they're like, "Hey, bro," bring Miami for this example. That I guess that Miami show for the UFC was a big drop off, right? So when they're looking at those numbers and the behind the scenes, you don't think that they were very proud that their company was able to secure a $7 billion fucking buyout when all they're seeing is the last 5 years, the numbers are going down?
That Paramount will never make their money back on.
Yeah. No, so that was Dana White's, that was him reaching the top of the mountain right there, right? He should have maybe sold everything at like the Fertitas did a few years before that and said, I'm done. I've made it to the top of this sport. I'm moving on. Because right now it does seem like, not talking shit, but it does seem like his power is slowly going away, and his time is coming to an end. And he's one of those boy singers that his voice has changed, right? So it's just not the same anymore, Miguel.
Yeah.
He's Justin Bieber at 20 now.
Right, exactly. With his balls dropped, and you're like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" All of a sudden, your voice sounds hella different, man. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, time for you to. He might be kicked out of the boy band at this point, right? It's like, all right, no more than that. We're gonna have to clip your balls and keep you like Michael Jackson.
Have you ever tried to rap?
Yeah. Have you seen MC Hammer try to rap his gangster rap that he tried at one time? But I've been seeing stuff about possibly Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia on Netflix, though. So, I mean, that is an influx of money, right? I mean, that will make things a little bit easier and like loosen up the belt a little bit. Won't be such a tight grasp around Dana's neck. But if there's that kind of influx of money from Netflix and their interest in this fight, and they're just buying, big fights or big events, I guess that's how you would call them. That helps, right? That makes things, that kind of lends more credibility to the possible making of a fight like this with Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia, and maybe even what Dana White is talking about is like, my job is to make sure everybody makes money here. It's like, all right, well then he maybe had something to do with the potential. And mind you, this is just what I'm seeing online. There's no definitive thing yet, but an influx of money coming in from Netflix will definitely help at least make that fight happen, right, with Conor and Ryan.
Yeah, no, I love that Netflix is involved. It still kind of blows my mind that all these guys signed with DAZN, DAZN, to turn around and put their biggest fights on a whole nother platform. Now what they need to be nervous about, though, Miguel, is that they are no longer even in talks about being an A side anymore, right? They can't outprice themselves. And I think we can all agree numbers will be involved big time in these negotiations moving forward with Zuffa, because obviously what De La Hoya and everyone is saying about they're just pulling back on their overspending, right? Mm-hmm. So when you look at prove yourself, well, we know Ryan's proven, right? The guy makes money. He sells tickets. He's a somewhat celebrity on the YouTube level, social media level. So he's going to be the A side of that. What is Conor Benn going to agree to? Right. And what is Turkey going to overpay? Because right now they were basically going, hey, Turkey, how about this fight? And then he look at it and go, oh, 20 million. They're like, holy shit, sign the fucking fight. Sign the fight. He gave us a price. It's fucking great. Right. It was kind of him just throwing numbers. Mm-hmm. Well, now what if he's like, well, I think we're gonna look at both sides. I don't know why my Turkey has a Latin accent, but whatever.
I don't know. The turkey, his accent became like a Uber Eats delivery driver all of a
Well,
sudden. I don't know what happened.
but you guys hear what I'm saying. I think now when they start looking at, all right, what are you guys actually worth? Connor's Ben drops tremendously low. And now does he really want to sign this fight? Now is it going to be a hurt ego? Is he going to go from 16 million to 4 million with a whole bunch of incentives if the pay-per-view does good, meaning Netflix numbers does good,
Mm,
which brings them more money? Because that's what I see coming down the pipeline here. Turkey will still be behind you as your check will clear
mm,
when he signs it, but no, it's not going to just be him fucking waking up going, I want to buy this thing. How much do I need? Now they're probably going to be throwing it. I'm sure the offer that Ben signed for this 5-fight deal, it just seems like a lot of fights, Miguel, to say that was involved with this first one, a 6-fight deal that they never mentioned. That's probably breaking the law against Eddie Hearn at some kind of degree, right? Where
mm.
Eddie would have said, well, dude, if you're doing 6 fights at 15 million, that number drops way down. Of course, I would have fucking covered that. You know what I mean? How dare you guys do this to me? Yada, yada, yada. So if they did have any funny business going on, I totally see Eddie Hearn blowing them out the water with that, because that would be a lawsuit that they probably would not win. I know Turkey has the money to pay off anything, but that's for easy money for Matchroom, right? You're just
Yeah.
giving us a percentage of this guy's every fight, basically, is what the judges would probably award Matchroom in that kind of lawsuit, that they would give him whatever a co-promotional deal those two would have to work out, but Matchroom would probably get something off of that for free. I don't see Turkey, I don't see TKO or any of them signing up for that. Um, they needed a fighter to come over to their stable. They needed to show off the building, and that's what Conor Benn's doing right now. He's showing off the building for TKO. Um, Hitchens, Berlanga. I haven't even heard that much noise from these two since signing. Um, I didn't see Hitchens sitting next to Turkey during the last fight. I didn't see Turkey announce, I got big announcements for these two guys. Nothing. So we will see what happens here with all this. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more reasonable prices given out, and Conor Benn might not be too happy in the near future. Yeah.
I was just about to ask you that. Like, Eddie Hearn said that he's going to look into it, right, and try to figure out like what the hell they better show me this was a legit 1-fight deal. And this was just, I think, last week. It might have been the week before then, but nothing has been said yet. Nothing has been disclosed. We're definitely still kind of waiting to hear what he ends up uncovering, if there's anything. I mean, if that's legit, it's legit. But it definitely seems I'm skeptical that was that much fucking money. But if it wasn't, then I would have to say, yeah, it looks like Eddie Hearn would have grounds to actually like take it to court or something.
They
Unless
gave
maybe
they gave Devin Haney 6 or 15 million to be an undercard fight also, bro. You know what I mean? You got to
mm,
remember that. And I kind of fucking laughed at that one. That was kind of my joke before Conor Benn was, not only where did they get the money for Devin, but to have Devin on the undercard of someone that also made $20 million in Ryan. And then you got to look at who made 20 million on the card with Ben? Tyson. So
yeah,
that's where it comes into where you really have to look at how and why would they have paid the undercard guys so much. So he has done this before, is all I'm trying to say, with a fighter that I didn't think market was worth that much either, especially as the undercard.
yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. So
Miguel, that's almost like saying, I know Tyson Fury is going to bring me 20,000 people. That's why he makes 20 million a fight. But you, Conor, you're going to bring 20,000 to your damn self. So let's give you 15 million. There's no way. There's no way he was selling that many tickets or attracting that many eyes on the TV. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of showed, they did do good numbers. 5 million for the UK side.
yeah,
That's decent. And I say that's decent. Look at me. For boxing, that's great numbers, right? 5 million views. It was one of their Super Bowls, so we would have to compare it to a World Premier League soccer viewership, right? What's their champions getting? If it's half the country or half the, well, then we're fucked, right?
Yeah.
They're like, well, no, soccer got 23 million views. Like, damn it! All right, shit,
Yeah.
behind the ball.
Right. Not as good as numbers we thought it was.
Yeah.
So let's go down that route of possibly Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn next. You think Ryan is willing to go to the UK to maybe try to fill out a stadium over there or something like that? Because that would mean possibly that the fight gets aired earlier in the day over here if they do it on prime time over there. But I'm not sure which direction they'll go, because again, at this point, I'm not sure if Ben will look at himself as the B side to be able to say, all right, yeah, I can concede to the fight being, we'll do it over here in the UK, but we'll do it hella early in the morning, so at least you get prime time over there in the US and get maybe more views. But you think Ryan's willing to go to the UK for this one?
No, I don't, and I don't think the fight should go to the UK, and I don't think Vegas will allow it to go to the UK. I think Ryan Garcia stays in Las Vegas.
How about Saudi Arabia?
No, because the fight is, your Riyadh. That term depends on where they're at with the traveling, if they're ready for travel, the safety and all that. Because that's a fight that's going to get a lot of the big people that watch boxing, the VIP section, right? I just don't see the VIP section really being like, Saudi Arabia, sure, sign me up. Right. So as long as I just don't see, I don't think they're ready for that magnitude of a fight yet. Actually, this war probably put them a few years back about getting to that level of tourism that they were hoping to be at in a few years here. I think there's going to be a slowdown on that also. So no, the fight's going to happen in Las Vegas. It should happen in Las Vegas. Look, Las Vegas, everyone that remembers the Hatton versus Mayweather, I think Vegas is clamoring for a fucking revisit of that one, right? Where you just have, what was it, like 50,000 people from two countries show up to one city and just fund the whole fucking thing. I mean, I believe they said something like $27 million was bet on the MGM sportsbook alone that weekend. Just they made 27 million. You know what I mean? So it's things like it was a event like that where Vegas is anything that has that potential, which Conor Benn and Ryan is closer to. Who was the one? Was it Hopkins and Calzaghe that I think Vegas put all their eggs in, and then they ended up having to pay them back. De La Hoya and them gave some money back because it was such a bomb, dude. They like Vegas gave them millions of dollars up front because they thought it was fucking Hatton versus Mayweather all over again. Bang, thing tanked. So Conor Benn better hope he's not closer to Joe Calzaghe's fan base, yeah, and closer to Ricky Hatton's. But I think Vegas will do as much as they can to get this fight secured for the city.
Yeah, and I was throwing that out there thinking maybe like Ryan would be willing to try to get, more ticket sale or something like that right out of the UK. But Ryan himself did say, like, yeah, it's going to be Conor Benn in Vegas. Like he himself said it when he was on one of his social media things.
Yeah.
So the likelihood that it's going to be in Vegas, but I figured, well, fuck it.
And Miguel, the stadium seems like it's open for business now, Allegiant, dude. And that's 70,000 seats. You really, if the demand is there, you want Vegas Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, well, I mean, T-Mobile's where they'll go most likely, right? I don't think they're gonna the T-Mobile Arena. I'm saying I don't think they'll go to like a stadium type of. I mean, it'll be dope if they do, but I highly doubt. It just seems like a stretch. Their go-to for the longest time before T-Mobile was either MGM or Mandalay Bay. Now that T-Mobile's around, that is the one for, I believe, a wrestling or boxing event. It can fill up to 20,000, which is still significant. Granted, not as much as a stadium, but I'm not sure if they'd go that far to do a Legion Stadium. I suspect they'll just do the T-Mobile Arena, which is in and of itself a pretty decent number.
It matters how the promoters deal with T-Mobile. If T-Mobile is gifted by the casinos, meaning they're not paying the rent for that building that night, then it's possible it happens at T-Mobile. But if I'm the promoters and I'm looking at both the stadium and T-Mobile Arena, and I'm saying, okay, who do I want to rent for this fight? Bro, if you think you have the fans that are going to pack a 70, or isn't it more than 70,000? We'll just say 70,000 seat. A
Yeah.
70,000 seat venue, I think they go with that one in this time, in this era of boxing that we're in. Back in the day, obviously, MGM properties would have said, hey, we want this at the MGM. Here's $15 million up front. Give us this fight. They would throw the fight on the MGM. We're moving forward. I don't know how the T-Mobile set up. If the MGM properties have any what's the word, involvement in the renting of the T-Mobile, or is this strictly between the T-Mobile and the promoters? Because if it is, I'm walking over to L Davis, or excuse me, Mark Davis, and I'm seeing what he's asking for rent, because it's possible if they both have the fan bases, right? Prime of their careers.
Mm-hmm.
Look, to me, Conor isn't as big as what they're pushing. It really seems like in this last fight, yeah, his
His
popularity
stock went
came
down.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it is, yeah, I could see 40,000 easily walking over to Allegiant.
All right. And I know it's still very, very early, right? I mean, the fight isn't even really announced, but early on, are we looking at Ryan as a heavy favorite? Like, I guess not just the booking, or not just the betting of the bookies. Obviously, I think that's going to be him a heavy favorite. But looking at their styles, looking at their most recent fights, can you give us an early prediction? Way, way early. It's going to change between now and then, I'm sure. Maybe it stays the same, but who do you think takes it right now?
Well, the younger Conor Benn, I would have given him more of a chance of winning because of his style. Just relentless, face forward, not giving a shit about Ryan's power. He's going to go in there and just start throwing bombs, and Ryan goes to that shell, or do we even call it the Philly shell? The Ryan Garcia shell, whatever you
I don't know. The social media show,
yeah, exactly.
I don't
But
know.
he would start going back into that, and then I would see Conor maybe getting an advantage in the fight. Not the new Conor. The Conor that's going 12 rounds and boxing and staying on the outside. I'm sorry, he's about the same speed level as Barrios, and we all seen how that fight played out, right? When I watch Conor, I don't see tremendous speed out of him. So I think he gets hit with the left hook and possibly a right hand. Now we'll see if Ryan brings that one back or not, but the left hook is definitely in play for Ryan that night, with Conor trying to be more of a boxer, or how about this, maybe not even having the power anymore to move anyone. So there's always that side of it too. So no, definitely Ryan Garcia I have as a favorite going into this fight with Conor Benn.
All right. What to what you were talking about, the 5-fight deal. What fights? Obviously, we haven't even got to that point yet. But do you think there's a chance that we might? And this is kind of one of the things why I was skeptical about the 1-fight deal to begin with. And again, this is just going off of what I know with him and Dana White and the UFC, is that sometimes they have these renewals, these automatic renewals. You're the champ, and you're at the last fight of your contract. You win, your contract already, automatically renews, kind of thing. I don't know if they have something like that with Conor in this 1-fight deal, but I guess where I'm going to get at is, do you think we might get up to a point where Conor's 3 fights in and he's like, I got to get out of this deal, and we have I don't know, an ugly Ryan and Oscar De La Hoya type thing going? It's like, fuck, how the fuck do I get out of this deal? Because I mean, I'm not sure if it's worth 5 fights. The contract itself is worth 5 fights, but do you think there's a possibility that he'll go that route, that he'll be 3 fights and it's like, fuck, this sucks, I gotta get out of here, time to go to court?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even think we need to point towards a fighter and an Oscar as an example. You point towards Dana White and any UFC American fighter,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Because if you're not coming from a third world country, you seem to be unhappy with where you're at with the UFC. that's what I see on the outside looking in. So, no, I would start with that. And yes, I think there's definitely potential here of having a bad breakup. Miguel, Opatai's signing did not work out for him.
Mhm.
Opatai is not happy where he's at right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not in the rankings anymore. He's not a champion in the big boxing picture. He's a Zuffa champion. They got fucking laughed at, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it didn't look good that first date that Opatai had with them. So I can't think that Conor Benz is going to end in any other way. The relationship between Zuffa and the boxing world separated more than it came together since Opatai, right? All he
Mhm.
does is he continues. Thank you, bro. Sorry, son's bringing in my coffee mid show fill up.
Thanks for the refuel. We need it. It's like a pit stop. Like right.
Um, he continues to talk bad about Eddie. He continues to talk bad about De La Hoya, right?
Mhm.
Talked about the sanctioning bodies. So it's I don't really see these guys bending over for Dana White anymore. I don't see smiling faces when these two come in rooms. I see a lot of tension. Oh, they'll do business. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
They'll
Oh yeah.
fucking make money, but I don't see anyone like when a guy loses, you'll see Oscar smirking, right? He's gonna be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I really like him," but and like, don't do that, dude. The guy got knocked out. You can't do that. But he's gonna have more hate for the company than the fighters. But you'll see it in these when these two guys go head to head with each other, and maybe even vice versa when Dana wins. I don't have Zuffa winning many fights across the board, but there might be a night or two that they get an upset win, and Dana will be the ones laughing at Oscar and everyone. But I don't see these guys as friends anymore. I really don't. When they're all in a room, Dana White is the odd man out. He is the
Mhm.
what does it say? The black sheep of the family. Yeah, you're in the circle, but you're not in the circle. And you did that to yourself, right? And he really doesn't have the shit that this man spews to the media is not what he's saying to guys behind the scenes. Eddie and these dudes are laughing at this man. When he walks in the room and goes, "Yeah, I'm controlling you guys." You don't think everyone laughs at him? Like, bro, we're not the meat. We're not these, whatever. What did Dana say? Us podcasters that can. I thought he was legit talking to me and you, Miguel.
I'm sure he was.
No,
He's one of
man,
the he fucking subscribed and he's like fuck these guys and then he unsubscribed but he still watches the show.
he made it seem so little. I was like, it has to be me and Miguel.
Yeah.
He's like, he's not talking about anyone. He might as well said, you guys only do about 30 views. That I'm not doing
Yeah.
it.
Like
So
those two shaven head motherfuckers. Like, oh, okay. That's
that's it. That's about all. Everything else sounded like he's talking about me and you, but whatever. Yeah, dude. No, I think he gets laughed at. He doesn't control the. There's a lot more big fish in the boxing world than in the MMA world, right? If he goes in the room with all these guys, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, stop it." So that's where Dana knows where he's at right now. I don't know if this fight thing is gonna work out because they really need to change their attitude. And look at, I've given the window, I've left it open to try to take in Zuffa as a promotional company, right? I was like, hey, if you guys want to just sign fighters and you're paying 15 million, then I'm legit. You're a legit boxing promoter now, and let's move forward. And I felt like with the Opatai saying they were going to unify for him and do all that, I thought we were moving in that direction. And then it doesn't. He gets stripped. Freaking things, chaotic. The guy's crying on the podium basically after the fight. It was fucked up, man. Um, Dana goes on his little rants, continues to go on his rants. I don't know how they're going to bring this thing together without Turkey sitting everyone down and going, look, I'm going to open up my checkbook. Yeah, I'm going to write zeros, and you guys need to stop fucking fighting. You understand me? Just treat them all like kids. Like from here on out, there's a truce. I don't even want the past spoken on again. Right? From here on out, it's all water under the
yeah.
bridge and we're moving
It's
forward.
clean slate. Let's move forward from
Yes.
here.
It's the only way Zuffa survives, Miguel. They're not going to survive doing this. Your sport's broken and I'm here to fix it. He has too much pushback. And bro, The fighters seem not to have bought in. Edgar Berlangas of the world have bought in. But then, did you see Edgar Berlanga's video? When are we going to talk about the video, dude?
Yeah, that was going to be that was the next topic. Well, not the next topic, but part of this one here. You mentioned the things that people laugh at as far as what Dana White says in this quote, saying, "I've already done more fights in my first year than all the promoters combined." I don't know if Effie Ajagba and Charles Martin is something to fucking be proud of
Yeah.
necessarily. Yeah, you've had more boxing cards maybe, but as far as the quality of the cards, it's extremely laughable. But in regards to that video that we saw from Berlanga, he seemed to struggle with trying to really pinpoint what it was, the good reason that, besides probably fucking money, that he signed with Zuffa, saying things like, oh, the way they market their fighters and all this shit. Dude, they do a pretty shitty job of it, man. They don't act that great. Obviously, we know the complaints of fighters as far as their pay goes. I think they just fucking gave him some free tickets to WrestleMania, and he's like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." This is the way they treat you guys. Yeah, yeah. It's starting to look almost like a phone provider, a phone like a carrier. It's like, all right, fuck our current people. Let's just go ahead and get free phones to all the new people coming in. So he's like, all right, cool. I get a new phone. Fuck yeah, cool. And then everybody's like, yo, can I get a new phone? Like, I've been with you guys for 10 years. What the shit? Which is the UFC fighters over here talking that shit, right?
Very, very good. Yeah.
And it's like when you hear Berlanga say these things, you question his. I mean, I'm sorry to say, you question his intelligence, right? It's like that's the primary reason you sent me that video. So go off. Let me know what the hell did you hear when you heard those fucking words?
No, I think there had been a lot of UFC fighters that watched that video with Berlanga and are laughing, and maybe even feel bad for the young man that he's that out of touch of what Dana White and the UFC has done with the relationship between them and their fighters, their contracts that they've given out. The fact that they don't put the marketing behind their guys. They put the marketing behind the UFC.
Yes,
like Edgar, you're gonna be known as a Zuffa fighter. Yeah, but they might not know you, right? They're gonna just know you fight on Zuffa, and that's really cool.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna say like Zuffa 08 or whatever the fuck the number of the event is. Then below it's gonna say Berlanga versus whomever the shit. That's how it's gonna be. Like that's how it is with the UFC. I mean that's not how it is in boxing. It's not like, oh bam, top rank. It's like, oh shit, Pacquiao Marquez or whatever the fuck, right? It's about the fighters far more than it is about the brand of Top Rank or anybody else for that matter. For the UFC, it's not. It's very NFL-ish. It's like it's the fucking three letters.
Yeah. So no, he just seemed out of touch, uneducated. The things that he was saying totally contradict what's going on in reality. It was almost like he was reading something. It was like, bro, how could you be this out of touch? He's like, no, UFC is really, really hot, and their guys love Dana. Like, what the fuck? What is he saying?
Like those guys get paid a lot. Rest for pause. I mean, they get paid a lot. Those guys.
And then it comes down to money. Yes, we need to figure out what the fuck Berlanga was sold to. Was he sold? Is he on a Zuffa title run coming up? Or is he on the Conor Benn side of Zuffa and they actually think he's going to be unifying the belts here soon? Even though he's never won one, but their hopes is that he's going to somehow win all of them and on that side of the equation for Zuffa boxing. So I don't know what side Berlanga falls on. His talent says Dana White Zuffa. His last few fights say that he's going to be on the Conor Benn side, right? This really is going to determine who's making the smart business moves, which granted, I haven't given Turkey a lot of a lot of compliments about any of his decision making. So I'm going to say this one, he's not going to fall on Dana's side, and they think there's still an avenue of making money with him, even though they signed him at what was rumored $10 million per fight. Insane amount of money. That is a fucking number that is going to have them in red again.
Deeper in red. Like, is there a deeper, like a maroon blood gushing type of red like that? I'm not sure if there's another worse red than that, but it's like, if you can think about like if you start bleeding and you see a fucking thick ass red blood clot come out. Like that's pretty much where they're at this point.
Right. Right.
Oh my! All right. Anything
And
else?
Miguel,
Yes, sir.
and he didn't help doing the pathetic salsa dancing video at some corner liquor store there in, where's he from?
New
Uh,
York or
yeah, New
no?
York. I forgot. I forgot what
Brooklyn.
state. Brooklyn. Yeah, that's what I
Brooklyn.
was gonna say. Brooklyn, New York, bro. I thought he was making a fuck. I thought he was making fun of the dancing at first. Was he being serious or was he? You know,
He wasn't laughing in that video, right? I
jeez,
don't think he was. I don't think he was joking. I want to say he
bro.
was being serious.
The yes men that you have around you to put up videos like that. You know,
Mm.
hi, puppy. Yeah, you're killing it.
Yeah, right. It's like put this fake gold chain on you. Yeah, let that walk around town with that and see.
The
how
fake
that goes.
dancing. I don't even know if Edgar Berlanga is fluent in Spanish. I could have swore he wasn't. When I want to say when he first came out, there he used to be that type of guy that was kind of distancing
Mm.
himself. Like, yeah, I don't know if I'm not fully in Spanish. I'm here more on the American. So I want to say no, but now all of a sudden he's dropping Spanish albums. He's dancing salsa music in the corner store with jewelry on that would get you robbed here in Northern California. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck who you think you are. You wear something like that in the wrong neighborhood, dude, it's coming off, you know?
Even if it's
So
fake, it looks
yes,
real. They're gonna fucking go at you thinking it's real, and you get shanked because people think it's real.
they'll sell it for $500, Miguel. Still
Hmm.
a $500 chain they come up on.
Yeah, I know his Spanish. I've heard his Spanish before. It is very Puerto Rican, and it's like there's not like full pronunciation or enunciation. A lot of slang, a lot of cussing. So I've heard that of him. That sounds. I mean, I'm not exactly a fluent in or fluent, I should say. The word is in that type of Spanish. So when I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, dude knows how to speak it. So, but I didn't. I don't remember the earlier years whether or not he'd spit those out during like press conferences or interviews like that. But I remember, I mean, he had to go full balls to the wall with that image for the Canelo fight because they had to been Mexico, Puerto Rico. So maybe he brushed on up on it. He got some Rosetta Stone and it kind of helped with the Spanish a little bit.
Oh, I absolutely think he did. I absolutely do believe I remember that Berlanga was not a he did not know Spanish when he first came out, which more power to him for learning it. I'm not knocking him.
Mm.
It's just how fake one can look. You know what I mean? Like bro's totally changing his whole image, right? From what he was even when he first came into the sport. So it's just kind of weird. The singing, the fake dancing, um, yeah, the fake title. Just a lot of the fake chains. There's just a lot of fakeness around Edgar Berlanga right now. He needs a win. They need to get him in the ring. He needs a big win here soon, or he's gonna. It's not gonna be good on social for him.
No, I think the only thing real right now about Berlanga are his losses. As far as winnings go, dude has to get back on the W column.
You think
While
you
I
think
turn,
that you think the zone did it on purpose when they replayed the Shiraz highlights like this whole weekend? That's all I seen on the zone. I seen it like 3 times on my feed, bro. I'm like, I think they did this on purpose.
well, Shiraz is gonna he's fighting on the uh Usyk undercard coming up here in a few weeks, several weeks. I
Oh,
think
there
it's
you
the end
go.
of May. So yeah,
There you
it's like
go.
why not freshen up? It's like dust off the fucking highlight reel of Berlanga getting knocked the fuck out by was Shiraz and throw that in there as a package.
No other highlight, Eddie? No other highlight. Just keep continuing to play that one, please.
Which is not a bad idea. All right. Well, I allow my camera to fucking focus here. Anything else you want to add to this, Andrew, before we move on to the next topic?
No, sir.
All right. This next one here involves a fight that we will be covering at some point here in the next couple of weeks. David Benavidez moving up to cruiserweight to take on Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. So reports that I've seen lately are talking about an $85 pay-per-view. Now, The pay per view is pretty stacked. I will say that it's got a good co-main event. It's even the third bout with Angel Fierro and Duarte, Oscar Duarte. So that card is going to be it's pretty solid. Uh, if I was paying for this, I wouldn't mind forking up $85 for it. Right? It's a bit of a steep one. I don't remember the last time I forked up that amount of money for a pay per view. I think it was like 65, maybe 70 was the most. This being 85 is what I've seen online. Before we go on to the second part of the story, which is ticket sales, Andrew, do you think PBC can justify this $85 price tag on this pay per view?
Listen, Miguel, I'm gonna say yes because of the quality of fights that they have on this, and it's old boxing fans are not. What is the word I'm looking for? We're not surprised at an 89 fee, right? That doesn't throw us off right there. We've been paying for boxing for a while as far as pay-per-views, and it's just a matter of tapping into that fan base. If those guys want to see it, I know we've said this before, but I mean, PBC does. They've been successful with Tank and Ryan that one time, right? They got over 1 million buys, so they
Mhm.
did it before. They were able to tap in. It's just about who they have running the bill, and unfortunately, you know, Benavidez and Ramirez, you would have thought on the outside looking in that these guys they have enough star power to get the $89 ticket price. When you attach that to the undercard, this is why I said last week. I know you're like, hey, you just said it's a problem for the PBC and not boxing in general. And then I turned around and said it was a problem for Mexico, the Mexican fan base, if we don't sell this fight. And I'm sticking to that. Like, there's a lot of Mexicans on this card, bro, where you would think all of the fans that are in tune with the Mexican boxing would be totally like, yeah, I'm buying this fight. Hey, it's $89. I don't give a shit. Everyone that's coming to the house, give me $10. We're getting the fight. Right? And like
Mm.
$89 isn't hard to come up with when
80,
you have
85, 85, 85.
85 bucks isn't hard to come up with when you have a bunch of working men and women in the house. You know what I'm saying? They all want to watch the fight. I mean, we've seen people pay for, way crazier things. So I don't think the price is that off. If you're throwing a party, your family's coming over, and everyone wants to see it. So no, I'm gonna be nervous as shit, dude, if this fight does not sell on the pay-per-view side. There's been rumors that the Mexicans, LA, we lost LA's been lost to the MMA world. The MMA has been picked up in Mexico across the border here for a few years. Their numbers are picking up over there. Their numbers are picking up, and maybe the new fight fans just aren't watching boxing like their dads and their grandpas and their tios, however you want to say it, used to, right? Um, so I think this is gonna put up a major red flag, dude. If we do not get fucking over 100,000 pay-per-view buys for this fight, Miguel. I know in this new era of streaming and the boxing and MMA that sounds like a high number, but it's truly not. We have a lot of people in this country, bro. Like 500,000 pay-per-view buys. Because look, you guys, you have to remember the closed circuit venues. That's added to a pay-per-view buy. Whenever someone walks into a bar or a what's that one, Dave and Buster's, and they purchase a single ticket to watch a fight, whether it be $10, $15 at the door, they take that as a pay-per-view buy. So every bar that buys the fight, they go, okay, your bar wants to buy the fight. How many people you fit in your bar? I fit 1,000 people in my bar. That's they have that little max
Mm.
capacity, right? They go, all right, that's 1,000 pay-per-view buys. Put it down for him, 1,000. Then they go to the next bar, and and this is how they can generate what fights are going to be big or not, because they have so many bars buying it. They go, dude, we have 100 bars buying it at 1,000 people a bar. This fight is going to be huge. Everyone wants in on this. All the bar guys, all the club owners want in on this. So that's how these numbers go through the roof. You're telling me David Benavidez, Zurdo Ramirez ain't going to be in every fucking Mexican bar throughout the country? Bro, that should do 500,000 buys right there.
Yeah, and in particular,
Streaming.
what?
Doing Damn it, I didn't think of
Oh,
that side.
yeah. Let's not forget there's a whole other gray market over there. Specifically Benavidez, because of how many people like hated on Canelo for kind of ducking Benavidez, and then they see this fool on pay per view, they're gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, fuck yeah. Zurdo Ramirez, they might not be too familiar with him, but that's true. I think people will show up for at least for Benavidez, and of course it happens to be on that specific Cinco de Mayo weekend. So I at least on the pay per view side, I think it'll do respectable numbers. Ticket wise, oh, go ahead. Yeah,
let's not knock Zurdo, bro. Been with ESPN, been with Golden Boy, been in big fights, pay per view fights. Like Zurdo has a lot of on his resume as far as the Mexican fight fan, not maybe the casual, not across the board, but when we're looking at that one demographic of Mexicans, Zurdo is just as popular as David Benavidez as far as name recognition. You know what I'm saying? So, no, you would think this fight is a banger for us. This when it was announced, Miguel, should have been the same feeling that you had when Barrera and Morales was announced. Dead serious. Now, maybe not as legendary, but to know that these two guys were going to throw down, this was going to be a fight where you were going to be entertained. This isn't a boxing match. How do you not get excited for Benavidez versus Ramirez? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're a Benavidez fan who's been waiting for this guy to get a big fight like this. I mean, this should be a lot bigger than what they're reporting as of right now.
Right. And I'm gonna throw in some more bad news. Ticket sales have been quite slow, at least for this one. I'm gonna read this report that I saw on Twitter from the let's see here. Inside sources have stated that there are quote unquote having troubles with ticket sales. It's looking like the top deck of the venue will not be opening. They're making the adjustments on people's seating as they see the fight, as they see this as the fight falling short of expectations. David Benavidez is again showing that he does not have the star power to move the masses, at least in people, in as far as like arena goes. More details, information coming out as the weeks come out. But basically, they're not going to be opening the top deck of this, and I think it's going to be T-Mobile, right? I'm almost certain it's going to be T-Mobile Arena. I was looking at those pictures that I had taken when I went for a previous fight, and I'm almost certain it said T-Mobile. But again, as we're talking about it, T-Mobile Arena is actually pretty big as far as like capacity goes for a wrestling event or a boxing fight. It's roughly 20,000 that can squeeze in there, and that's a very significant number. But if they're going to, like cover up or like not sell the tickets at the very, very top deck, then everybody's going to be basically brought down. It'll still look pretty full, obviously, because they're going to close that area there. But it's still, I have the picture here. Yeah, it's going to be T-Mobile. I don't. I don't see that as a problem, honestly. Like I don't see those other ones. I'm sure that maybe they'll adjust the prices on some of them, right, to get people to like move down and stuff. But up there, it's fucking far, dude. It's steep as hell. I've been there myself. It's steep as a motherfucker. I don't want to have to get tickets up there. If I can fork up a little bit more money to get a nice closer seat, and if it's not that much more money, I do it. I totally fucking do it. But I yeah, it won't do a sellout, right? I mean, we can already see that, and we're a little under 2 weeks away from it. So, and there's still tickets available, but I don't know if this is necessarily an indication that the fight won't sell, because we talked about already. As far as pay-per-views goes, maybe it'll do respectable numbers pay-per-views, but these ticket sales are pretty slow. I don't see a problem, even if they do remove that top part. I kind of I'm thinking of it as like making it into the MGM, which is still a significant amount of people, right? I mean, there's still maybe 15,000 still that will be able to squeeze in there, even more. But what do we take this? What can we make of this information here that the ticket sales are slow?
Well, I mean, we can take that it's not a Super Bowl fight. That's what I mean, Miguel. 20,000 seats is not a lot of people. It really isn't. You think on a sporting event that everybody wanted to see. We're not talking about the A's versus Mariners on a Tuesday night here, right? We're talking about a college football Saturday, a NFL Sunday. These are 80,000 will fill up multiple stadiums on multiple different cities, 70,000 for the NFL. I'm saying college usually gets more. That's why I put them a little bit higher. But we should not. Boxing never had a problem filling in a 20,000 seat venue in Las Vegas. Certain fights did, but this was not supposed to be one of those fights. Let's not put this in the category of just Gotti versus Ward here. These are two of the best Mexican fighters in this division that are fighting, and then you put the undercard on top of that, Resendiz and Munguia and Duarte. These are all big time Mexican names. Like, you would think there's fathers and grandfathers like, no, I'm taking my boys to watch these guys. These are the guys that I've been watching. These are the guys that have been entertaining me for this many years or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And just to see that they are struggling to sell 20,000 seats in a fan base that used to have no problem selling tickets at all, it's a little scary. This is why I did say this reflects on us as a fan base, not the sport of boxing. But there might be worry. We should be worried if California, Las Vegas, and Texas doesn't bring 20,000 people to Las Vegas for this fight. That's 5,000 people each. You have 15 grand. That's not a lot of people when you're talking millions of people are in these states.
Yeah. No, yeah, that I get what you're saying. I haven't checked what ticket prices are, but do you think maybe PBC are kind of up in the stake there, like making them too pricey?
No, you know what might have happened is the PBC is too broke to do a promotion for a fight like this. How, Miguel, you're more tapped into the Latin side than I am. Your father, does he watch Spanish television?
Yeah, well, the sports ones, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever see commercials of this fight on, are you seeing any kind of promoting of this thing?
You know what? I haven't actually. No, the only time I ever hear them talking about it is when the ESPN Deportes channel talks about boxing. When they have boxing updates, that's the only time that I've ever seen them do that. I haven't seen any commercials, come to think of it.
Right.
Shit.
As far as influencers, are they getting the kids like Ryan Garcia gets all these guys that are getting millions of views and going, hey, put some free tickets on your stream for me. Here's, promote us and we'll help you out. You help us out kind of deals. You still need people to get out there and go, hey, these two guys are fighting. There's a lot of people that they're not fucking in tune to boxing like that, where they're looking up schedules and shit, So it could be, I mean, dude, I remember back in the day, we used to get pay-per-view commercials on KNBR, our sports talk radio. Out of nowhere, it would be like a Chavez fight or a freaking, a Tyson fight or whatever. I'd be like, oh, shit, this is big. This is huge. Because you never get, promoting on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Whatchamacallit, Buffer would be announcing them or something. I always thought that shit was cool because our sport really never got played like that. But that's when you knew you were in a big fight. What is going on Al Heyman on selling to the Mexican fan base? And maybe knock on. Now, who owns Gilbert? And I don't mean to say it like that. Jeez, that's not woke. Who owns Gilbert? Cancel him.
Yeah, why not?
Get off the stage. No.
It's like who has access to his papers? Like, oh, jeez, might as well go that fucking direction. Jeez. I know, right?
Anyways, who promotes this young man?
Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy.
Okay, so it is still Golden Boy.
Yeah, it's Golden Boy and PBC. That's the thing they're working together here. So Golden Boy and PBC.
Right. Then you know what? Knock on Oscar. Oscar should be way more in tune and getting this fight to the right media to get more views on this, to get more ticket sales. Like, honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that they're reporting they're already shutting down the top. Dude, that means the casinos are like, look, we reached out to all our VIPs. They said no. So you're not getting the VIPs from our casino, right? We're looking at the bookings. Dude, half of our place is open on that Saturday. I'm telling you right now, they're not coming. There's nobody coming. And that's when the promoter said, all right, look, we're hearing it from everyone. Shut down the top. There's no way they made that. They wouldn't have made that decision without those kind of people in their ear telling them, "I'm telling you, nobody's coming." Right, and that's going to be the casinos because they're the ones doing the bookings for this shit. They're the ones that reach out to their high rollers to see if they want to. I used to say that all the time. I used to love De La Hoya fights. All the Mexicans that brought out the money. There's a lot of money on all sides of the world. Hey, shit, who was African? Was it Samuel Peter? Even he brought one time the heavyweight Samuel
Yeah,
Peter
yeah,
from
yeah.
Africa. Even they had people out there with money, just straight. You could tell there was high rollers from his country coming over to watch him. Mexico has it too. I'm sure the MGM, everyone reached out to their guys, going, "Hey, we got a fight coming here. Do you want tickets?" And they were probably told no.
I'm looking at some of the tickets here as I'm talking. 322 bucks for like not the full back, but like kind of sort of, it's the section in front of where they're blocking off. Ringside can range from about $1,000 to $4,000, depending on what side of the ring you want to sit on. The highest one that I'm showing right now here is 4,100 bucks. That's like on the floor, like damn near ringside. But other ones are $1,000, 600 bucks, 700 bucks. Yeah, I mean, they're not over the top. They don't seem like that's over the top, right? I mean, it's the equivalent, I guess, of a WrestleMania event, I suppose. I mean, even those are fucking over the top now too. But yeah, I mean, for 300 bucks for a ticket like this, and again, it's not on the floor by any stretch, but it's not too bad.
You know what, dude? I know this is where I'm gonna sound like I'm not giving enough credit to all the people that are making serious money out there, but I think they're a little bit too steep. I
Yeah.
really do. Yeah, $4,000, $4,000 to sit ringside. For Benavidez, Ramirez, I don't know. Ramirez hasn't shown up in a big fight yet, right?
Mm.
So his fans might not be willing to pay that to watch him go up against Benavidez. Um, I would have liked those numbers that had been down a little bit more. 300 just to get in the building. That does seem kind of hefty, because you got to think about other sports. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
I don't know about too many sports football games that I needed 300 bucks to get in without it being the damn Super Bowl. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, come on now. I would have liked to have seen maybe $100 get people in the door, right?
Mm.
Maybe the pay-per-view price, at least for
Ah.
3 or 4,000 of those seats should be around $85, right? The whole top level. Get them in the building, get them cheering. They get the atmosphere, they get to buy the programs, like I know, Dana. I know. Why don't I become a promoter? Go to the PFL. I know he's talking to me, Miguel.
They let me in the PFL, Dana. They don't let me in the UFC fights. Mother son of a bitch. Um. All right. All right.
Yeah,
Anything else
I
you
would
want
have
to add to
been.
this one? All right.
Yeah, I would have brought the ticket prices a little bit lower. I do 300 to get in the door is a little steep for this one. Especially you got to look at the demographic you're buying. You're trying to pack the house. You just need the thing to get hot.
Mhm.
So why be so greedy on getting in the front door?
Do you
If
think any of the fights will drop out? Like it's a pretty good stack. At
Absolutely,
least a three fucking. Ah, damn it. That's what I was thinking
absolutely.
because like that was my question and I put it here on my notepad. Like, yo, if the ticket sales are slow, is there gonna be maybe? Well, not Duarte got dropped out last time, so I guess maybe not Duarte. Resendiz? Oh no, Resendiz and Munguia.
Yeah, definitely. Or somebody's taking a pay cut. It could be that Hitchens thing where all of a sudden the money wasn't right guaranteed at the end. He said it wasn't the same guarantee that he thought he was getting, so he pulled out. You could have a situation with Munguia or somewhere like that where they're like, all right, we told you were the A side and you're going to make this much, but obviously we're not hitting the incentives we were supposed to hit to
Mhm.
get you this money. So instead of making 4 million, you're going to make 1.2 million tonight. Do you still want to do the fight? And then they have to make that decision right then and there if they want to move forward. Um, yeah, no, most definitely. Right now, it seems like they only have money for the main event because the main event was so expensive.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, bro, you got to think David Benavidez is at least making 5 million at least, and that's a low number, dude.
Yeah, on the lower side there. That's gonna be on the lower side. Damn. All right. Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully,
Yeah,
none of those
no
fights
shit.
fall through, and maybe this helps a resurgence in ticket sales. Go ahead.
Let's fingers crossed Munguia has the same debt that Floyd Mayweather has. No, I'm just fucking with you, Floyd. He's like, I got to fight, whatever, $1,000,000, I'll
Yeah,
do it. Whatever. Where do I sign?
right. It's like I owe the Mexican IRS some money. You know, please help me out with that particular debt. And I don't buy jewelry, so leave it at that. All right.
Oh yeah, 26 watches. Did you see that one?
No,
Dude,
I didn't see that.
yeah, they put out a list of what he's in debt with. I
Mm.
want to say he bought over 25 watches at one time recently. Yeah, this is recent, bro. Like
I bought
what
them
makes
recently.
yeah, what make he like went into one jeweler and like bought all his whole stock or some shit. Dude, like what makes people do that, bro? Like Floyd, you really needed 25 just on today. You just that's bro, it's weird. Yeah, fucking weird. But there's a I thought I had sent to you. There's a reel going around of all the debt that he's in. He's lost both homes.
Uh,
Uh, he lost Beverly Hills, and he's already lost Miami. Yeah, I didn't know that. Remember we were talking about the whole Rocky thing?
yeah.
Oh, it's already happening, dude. Because everything got auctioned off probably in Beverly Hills and Miami. The cars, the furniture, everything inside.
Mm.
Then they sell the property. So that's happened. His gym is gone. The jet is gone. Yeah, he's definitely living Rocky right now.
Damn. But still buying watches somehow.
No, he never bought them.
Oh,
he,
what?
he just took them. now
Oh,
the guy's trying to get the 1.3 million that he owes for him or some shit.
jeez.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I left that part out. Yeah, he never.
Yeah, that was kind of important. That was kind of important. Like, oh no, he just went in there and stole them. Like, oh, okay, that's a different story. But
The cops thought, okay, we know what the crime is now. This
yeah,
fucking guy took a while to get there.
it's like, what? Spit it out already. Fucking hell. All right.
Like my
Well,
wife.
on the subject of no money and running out and going slow, the Saudi fund is looks like it's starting to dry up, at least according to what we were us connecting the dots behind the scenes, right? And Oscar De La Hoya in his recent clapback Thursday, saying even giving a warning out to the fighters who thought or think of potentially signing with Zuffa. Money's going to dry out in a few months, at least according to him. But from what I've read, even and not just boxing, mind you, this is one of the reasons why people are coming to this conclusion. Saudi fund to back away from Live Golf under mounting financial pressures, and that's another. I don't know if I call it a league, but of golf that was supposed to rival PGA's, and I guess apparently the money is starting to run dry there as well. So you can you've kind of alluded to it, Andrew. Every time we hear about a potential fight happening and then magically it's somebody else, now it's like, oh shit, maybe this is exactly what's happening, is that the backing for the money isn't there anymore. We're seeing it in other places. I guess we'll have to see how Formula One does later on this year here in Vegas, but it's not just boxing, but boxing is one of the casualties, and at least according to Oscar De La Hoya, guys who potentially might sign with Zuffa, make sure to read the fight print and think twice, because that the funds might not be there. But this is something that keeps reoccurring and pulling up on most people's feed, including mine. But when I see this stuff, when I see like, oh shit, they're starting to pull back. Here's another headline. Live Golf CEO says operations are continuing as planned amid questions over funding future. So, all right, Andrew, we kind of sort of saw this coming to some degree. We at least maybe speculated that it might have happened, and we started to kind of try to ask questions like what would happen in the event that the Saudis said, fuck this isn't working, time to pull out. It'll leave boxing kind of in a worse spot. There will still be the promoters doing the things, which is what they've been doing basically without the influx of this extra money. But it kind of sort of confirms what we've been thinking all along, right? When the money starts to dry up, the big fights aren't being made anymore. Time for the promoters to get back into the picture.
Yes, definitely time for the promoters to get back into the picture. I think the biggest thing we're not mentioning too was the what was it called? PowerPoint. Uh, what is it? Conference that the Saudis just put on about their future investments. Didn't even
Oh
have
yeah,
box.
yes,
Yeah,
on the
bro.
list of the ones that they
Yeah.
wanted to like continue. Shit, I'm seeing if I can find that, but I did see that, and they weren't even on there. You're right. Yeah.
That is such a huge red flag, Miguel.
Mm.
Miguel, do you know how bad that is if you're sitting in that room? You're a part of the circle. You're boxing. You're like, yeah, hey, we've been doing good, right? Billions of bucks. Yeah, you're doing good. Then the fucking thing drops and your name ain't on the list. Do you know what happens to your ego, your confidence, you're done. At that point, I'm cooked, bro. Like I would have been like, where are we at? Oh, don't worry about it. You're what am I, your dirty little secret? Am I your side chick? What
Right.
the
I,
fuck?
am
Like
am I
why
your
ain't
am I
I,
your dime piece? Am I your side piece? What the fuck? Shit, the
bro?
hell.
Like what are we, a hobby now?
Yeah,
Oh no,
it's like
that's
don't text me.
yeah. That's the
Oh, oh,
major
oh,
red flag.
you cut off real quick. You said what? What are we, a hobby now? Then what was the rest?
Oh, I just said I agreed to what you said, and I
Oh,
that's the major red flag right there. Was that this whatever fucking conference they just had didn't even have us involved in the future. So yeah, live golf was cut. I also believe I heard flag football, that new flag, which remember we talked about. I don't know who the hell was watching that thing, but they paid like Tom Brady like
oh
$80 million.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
Remember Jake Paul's brother? I'm sorry, what's the other one's name?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. He was out there. Freaking Terrence Crawford was out there. Stephon Diggs was out there. Like they had some major players out there playing this flag football. I guess they're cutting that after one. I don't know if it was one game or one season. Another red investment, right? We talk about all
Mhm.
these. Who the fuck ever said flag football is going to get people to fly 17 hours to your country?
Yeah. No, and this is I've only heard a few people kind of look at it that way, and one in particular who's very in the mix, Sean Zattel. I was like watching his videos. He kind of like was almost, the way he explained it, almost like he was a little butthurt. It was like, yo, you're coming in with this, your idea is to get tourism over there, and you're using my sport as that. Like, what the fuck, yo? Like, that's kind of not cool. So even from the jump, he was very skeptical about this stuff. So when I heard him say it, I was like, damn, that makes sense. It's like, yeah, it's a hobby for them. Like, fuck, yo, this is how you treat us. You know what I'm saying? And us, as if I'm part of the fucking crew. But the sport of boxing, for a for them to basically say, all right, cool. The plan, the 2030, I think it was, they had a certain plan, right? 2030 was to get as much tourism up here we can. And, boxing, WWE, UFC, and all that shit, right? And it was just one of those. So as easily as they were able to just bam, yeah, let's get these guys so we can get people over here. They will easily be like, ah, fuck it, it's not working. Boom. And
Drop
now we're
them.
like, oh shit, now we're, homeless with the fucking sign like, we'll fight for, Saudi money. Yeah, when I saw that, and it again, all there was a point where we were like, holy shit, a lot of these promoters are kind of in trouble now because they're kind of bending the knee for him, and then for Turkey, and kind of essentially being puppets for the most part, and to the point where eventually they were going to get phased out, and it was just going to be Turkey directly to the fucking fighters, right? Well, maybe maybe that thankfully that didn't happen that way. Maybe we still need them, right? They're back. There's going to be a time for them to hop back in. This one, at least, this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of very pleased to see Zurdo, Ramirez, and Benavidez, because it's PBC and Oscar De La Hoya working together to get that fight crack a lacking. But I don't know if there's any Saudi money involved in that one. I certainly hope not. But it can still be made. Things can still, the world will still go on, and you've mentioned it many times before. It'll keep going. The sport of boxing will just keep on fucking rolling. It won't be in the same spot, mind you, and there might be another maybe ice age of major fights that aren't being made because the Saudi money isn't there. If you hear Turkey say it, it's not true. He's just as invested as everybody else, right? Because, oh, we believe you, Turkey. You're going to put on a fucking fight that nobody wants to see in front of pyramids. And, yeah, that means you're really invested. Sure, dude. Instead of putting fucking money elsewhere, we might want to see it. But we're going to really have to depend on the freaking promoters here very, very soon again, because it looks like the money is drying out, or at least maybe I won't say drying out, but they're pulling back. I guess what the best way to say it. They're pulling back on the funds. But hey, I guess that leaves the sport back in our hands again, right? I mean, there's no longer bending the knee to Turkey, right?
Yeah, no longer bending the knee. I think Turkey, what he's going to learn from this, if this does go south and he's no longer a part of boxing, he exposed his hand too fast to everyone. He was in good. He had gotten in. He was getting everybody's phone numbers. And I think instead of waiting for contracts to truly expire and then go after guys, they tried pushing their way in, right?
Mm.
Bullying, the bullying tactics. That's where Dana White comes in with all of his aggressive this sport is dead and I'm here to fix it kind of talk, and it rubbed people wrong real fast. The sanctioning bodies and the promoters came together and they said, all right, how do we work against these two now? And I it didn't last long. You know what I mean? Their working relationship did not last long. And I'm talking about Turkey with the promoters. They will still take his money. Don't get it twisted. There's two sides of this.
Right, right.
They'll still take his money, but as far as trusting him or giving their fighters advice to like do anything but take their money, no, I think that's all out the window. This guy's looked at as just an investor now, and who can squeeze a few dollars out of him. But watch how you word your contracts. Watch how you sign your guys. Right, every signing from here on out probably has an angle of how to avoid having Zuffa or Turkey involved with their contracts on that side, right?
Mhm.
So I think he exposed himself too much, too fast. I also think Netflix is our savior. Look, with DAZN getting the contract with TBS, they are going to take a lot of our small fights, right? There's a
Mhm.
lot of free content that get HBO championship boxing content, that level of fighting that can get put on the TBS platform and all of whoever they're branching out to, that umbrella. And then you have the big fights go over to Netflix where they're doing numbers we've never seen before. The UK has never even come close to 5 million views for a boxing match, pay-per-view boxing match before. They're at 5 million. Boxing had never come close to 108 million pay-per-view boxing buys before. Jake Paul did that for us. Our numbers just went, we were over here bragging about, man, 1.5 million or what? Let's give Floyd his big numbers. The 5 million. 5 million people watch Floyd and Manny. Yeah, that's awesome. We're at 108 now. That's a big jump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I think if Netflix is all in on the big events of boxing, that's our savior, because your contract goes through the roof when you make it to Netflix. Because once again I gotta think it's gonna be structured, or it is structured the same way that HBO was. Every view that you get is $1, not freaking just your fights, right? So build up shows, weigh-ins, and anything Netflix content provides that has your name on it, as long as it's getting views, you will get paid. That's our savior. That really is. It keeps the fights in America. It keeps them out of Riyadh, right? If
yeah,
Riyadh goes, that's fine. We've got a platform here that's paying big dollars, and we have a bunch of promoters that already know how to rent buildings. Sorry.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's that makes sense. I was listening to the clip of Oscar and him kind of talking about the type of money that they dumped into boxing, the Saudis, and even threw in one of his is like they bought the Ring magazine, the dying asset, right? And it's like, well, you sold it to him, fool. I mean, fuck, it's kind of you're kind of part of the problem too, dude. You went in here and I mean, you did say it. They don't have a problem taking the money. That seems like a little bit of a permanent one, and not just like borrowing fighters. That's like you're giving them literally the Ring magazine, and they're doing what the hell they're doing with it. But yeah, I guess I mean there's no, it's already going to it has already, and it's going to continue to lose. What?
Bad investment. Can we add the Ring magazine to Turkey's fucking long list of red?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Oscar said it himself. It was a dying asset. We
Hmm.
both reported it on this show. When's the last time you heard of someone buying that shit? Where was that magazine before Turkey purchased it for 10 million? I didn't even know they were printing albums, Miguel. I really didn't. Like, whoever really went off of the Ring magazine rankings. All of these things come into question. So no, I mean that I don't know if it's Turkey. I hate blaming it all on Turkey today in today's show, but his boss, I don't know who, but you can add the Ring magazine. So yeah, that was another 10 million you fucking blew, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That might have been the first 10 million that put you in the fucking red from that point forward.
Yep.
But we'll see where this leads. At least in the short term, we kind of already know it's going to lead to certain fights not being made. So be it. But hopefully this roller coaster will come back up again, and Netflix kind of gets in the picture and maybe force up some cash. We're already hearing that it might be with Ryan and Conor. So that in and of itself is an indication that we might be headed in an okay area without Saudi money.
Yeah.
All right. Back to Netflix, because this is kind of a two-parter, but I'm going to try to mesh it into one here. When we were hearing word of Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao possibly being an exhibition, and we're hearing what possible legal repercussions there may be for Floyd saying that, one of the things that, and then from there hearing that the fight is actually on, that in the deadline, just right in the nick of time, Floyd decided to come in and say, "Yeah, guys, let's do it after all." Right? You threw in there, hold the front door. Netflix hasn't said jack shit about this because supposedly it's going to be on Netflix, right? So that definitely put a halt on all potential talks. But at least according to what I'm reading here, because again, this is a bit of a two-parter. I'll get to Floyd and Manny in a moment, but Netflix officially announcing Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua this autumn from the UK, live only on Netflix. All right. We're hearing Anthony Joshua might have a tune-up fight between now and then. I think November, December is one of those 2 months of what I'm hearing. But it's one thing to hear, Anthony Joshua say, "Oh yeah, we'll make it happen. I'm gonna do a warm up," or Eddie Hearn saying it, or even Tyson Fury saying, "I want you, let's do it." When Netflix on their social media says, "Yo, it's happening," it's gonna be fucking happening right now. Maybe we're counting our chickens before they hatch, but we've seen Anthony Joshua in a warm up fight / tune up before a major fight, and I mean I know it wasn't considered that, but a fight before a major one, and it goes to shit. So even this isn't even 100% indication that we're gonna get the fight, but obviously it's leaning in that direction. Even hearing Eddie Hearn say, "Hey, we're gonna choose a certain type of fighter to make sure that he gets through it, everything's good, and then we have the big money fight then." But all right, Netflix coming through and saying, "Yo, we're gonna make this fight in the autumn, Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua." That's a little more official, huh?
Definitely more official. And the reason why I'm going to lean towards that is because Netflix isn't in the negotiating part of the equation when it comes about these fights. They're in the final part. They're the ones that go, "That's a nice event. I'll buy it." So the event had to have been put in front of them already, right? Date,
Yeah.
time, arena, all of that. So we could at least agree that they're definitely something on paper that says this fight is going to happen. Doesn't mean it will. Injuries happen, all that of the above. But yes, I'm leaning towards Netflix has already been shown all the specs of the event, and they said, "Yeah, we'll definitely sign on to this." So big news for the UK boxing. I don't know how big it is for America. Miguel, I'm a little bit nervous that they still have not released the Netflix Tyson Fury viewership numbers for the American side. Even if they were under 2 million, 2 million added to 5 million is still 7 million views, things that boxing kind of never does, right? So it's still a heavy number. How low is the number to where Netflix is like, "Yeah,
Yeah, let's just sweep it under the rug. Let's keep that one to ourselves.
Was it one of those Paramount where Zuffa did like 200,000 and the UFC
Right.
did 4.8 million? They're like, "Let's just merge them."
Yeah, no one will know. Like, how are they gonna know? They're gonna know. How are they gonna know? They're one of those.
Yeah, somebody should be able to ask the question to some guy at Netflix. You know what I mean? Like, were those numbers? Is that 5 million really the total, or is it just the UK? Be real, because there's a whole side of the freaking map you guys are not fucking putting in there.
Yeah. You know what's funny? And this is kind of a weird one, but for those of you who know, I do have another YouTube channel, right? It's an old one that I haven't posted in a while. It's Fight Fiend Migs, right? Particularly with MMA, but I used to do boxing on that one too before I joined Fight Net Radio. And I did a video because I remember hearing, that we were gonna get Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua 5 years ago. I'm talking about 2021. This video, and this is crazy. This video did 38,000 views. This was back then. That's the most I've ever fucking got in my life. I was like, God damn, because this is what it looked like it was going to happen. 5 years later, we might finally get it. Maybe we should name this title, the title of the show, like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, so we can get a whole bunch of fucking views on that one. But
Yeah, no doubt. No
it's
doubt.
crazy that we've come this far, and through ups and downs, we might still get it. It certainly doesn't mean the same. It doesn't mean what it did 5 years ago, but we still tuned in and paid $100 pay-per-view for Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather in 2015, 6 years or whatever the shit it was after it should have happened. So, still an indication that we can get, a pretty decent numbers. And I suspect this is going to do fucking humongous blockbuster numbers, right? Everybody's been wanting to watch that one in the UK side at least. But anyway, I want to throw that in there because I just noticed, I was like, fuck, I had a video like that a long ass time ago, and even then the fight still has to fucking happen. Shit to happen. But as I said, I was going to get back to Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, right? Okay, let's go ahead and throw that in there. This is a bit of a weird one because when I read it, and I was like, what? I'm not sure if I'm understanding. Fight Hype posted on one of their social media accounts. I'm not sure which one it is. It doesn't look like it's Twitter. Oh yeah, it is Twitter. It's X. Mayweather versus Pacquiao update, or two, obviously rematch. Cancer is being removed and contract getting fixed. It looks like the fight may actually happen, or may actually get made now by the real quarterback. More details to follow. Now, if that's not the most cryptic shit I ever heard, I don't know what the fuck is. It's very, it's, this is my understanding of it. There was something or someone involved in the negotiations that were basically driving it and torpedoing it. And as of this 2 days ago, according to what I'm showing here, that has been removed, and it seems like talks are advancing, and we might actually get it now that the real people, the quarterback, is in charge, whoever the fuck that is, and boom, we might actually get the fight happen. I'm not sure if I'm reading too much into it, but that's kind of the way it sounds. I don't know who or what they might be referring to as far as the cancer being removed, but regardless. Again, this is just from Fight Hype. It still isn't Netflix, so it's not like the fight is official, but it seems as though they're moving in the right direction. Andrew, any guess as to what this could potentially mean, or what was it, the cancer that has been removed that is allowing this fight to go forward?
I'm going to have to think that it has something to do with Floyd and his financial lawsuits that he has out against Showtime, possibly Al Heyman. There might be a lot of people that used to be in Floyd's negotiating side of boxing that's not with him anymore, right? So, and then maybe Al was trying to stick his head in there saying he's still the manager of Floyd. Floyd's still under contract for me to advise him or some bullshit like that, where Floyd was like, you know what? Let me get through with him first. I'm leaning more towards it was Floyd Mayweather's team that had the cancer than Manny Pacquiao's. What I'm still kind of lost on is who's throwing the fight. Who is guaranteeing the money? Like, I know Netflix is paying, they're paying up front, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Floyd also, to me, there had to have been a promoter that's backing it all. The events, putting it all together. Who's that company? It's not Netflix. Netflix isn't, they're not promoters. They're not going to be like, we're going to sign you guys, and don't worry, we'll go over there and work a deal with the Sphere too. And I don't think they were giving $70 million to Floyd and Manny just on a fucking, hey, they said they're going to go talk to the guys at the Sphere. Have they called them yet? Like, yeah. Who's the company that's throwing this fight?
Yeah, that is a good question. I mean, I don't think it's Manny Pacquiao Promotions. Pacquiao Promotions, how he does that. I don't think it's PBC. Otherwise, they'd have their name stamped all over the goddamn
All
place.
over it.
Um, Mayweather Promotions, they're whack ass shit. Um, yeah, who is spearheading this thing? I don't know. That's good. I mean, I guess this is precisely what this cryptic message is saying. Now that the quarterback is what? How did it say? Um, Now made by the real quarterback. So whoever the fuck is throwing this shit, we don't know who the hell the real one is, right? I mean, at least according to this. So, yeah, that's a huge question. That one makes sense that you said, right? Obviously, well, I say obviously, but it's more likely that whatever needed to be removed was from Floyd's side.
Yeah.
And now that that's out of the way, whomever the hell the quarterback is, better throw a fucking pass real soon here and get some yards because we need to know real soon.
I know.
These
Was it
fights,
even Showtime? Did Showtime call up and go, "Oh, I heard Floyd's name. We had this contract that didn't get destroyed in the flood.
right?
Everything else did, but that contract, Floyd. I think we get a percentage." He's like, "Fuck you guys." Maybe that was the cancer.
Right, right. It's like, how come this document says page 3? Where's the first 2 pages? Those got destroyed in the flood. In the flood, I don't know. It just the flood came and took the first 2 pages. We just got the rest. We got the signatures. But yeah, I'm intrigued to hear. And this is according to this. It says more details.
And Miguel,
yeah,
we know it was a server room, you dicks. It just sounds better if we keep saying it was files. It was a filing cabinet.
It was actual physical papers.
Yeah.
It sounds exactly. It makes the joke a lot funnier. It's not like these fucking guys. It's a fucking hard drive, guys. It's a hard drive. Fucking nerds. You got
like you push your glasses up.
Yeah, I know. It's like these fucking guys. They don't know shit. What these boomers over here? It's like sort of hard drive, guys. It's USB. Okay, it's a USB fucking thumb drive. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what exactly this thing leads to and what could potentially be who is in charge. But it'll be a nice twist to the story. And I've even seen like Steve Kim posted one of his articles like exhibition, real fight. Does it even fucking matter? Do we want to see these guys in the ring? When I read that, I was like, "What? Yo, of course it matters, man. Shit. I mean, it matters to me. If it must matter the most, it has to be. It won't matter the same if that O isn't up for grabs. If that O isn't up there at stake, because if it's just some bullshit exhibition, no one's gonna give two fucks. But if it's a legit fight, which at least it seems to be, then more people are interested in it, and not some whack ass exhibition. Thanks, Rich. All right. Okay. Well, anything else you want to add to this, Andrew? Because I think I've gone through all of the topics that I wanted to get through.
No, sir.
All right. I know there was one more thing I wanted to. Where the hell is it? So next or this weekend, this is coming up weekend, we got Jarrell Big Baby Miller against Linear Perro is one R, taking place here in Vegas. I'm gonna try to see if I can go down there and see what I can find. I don't know if they're gonna do. It's not a big fight. It's Matchroom. They're not gonna do they usually don't do the typical like grand arrivals or anything like that, right? Because it's not that big of a deal. But they're gonna have some events, I have to assume. So I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday. If I can find anything for you guys, I'll definitely make sure to try to make it down there and record something for you guys. And let me know what y'all think. It's gonna be at the Fontainebleau, if I can pronounce that right. Okay. That's going to do it for us. As I mentioned, this weekend we have this fight coming up, so we're going to be talking about it on Wednesday and any more information that pops up between now and then. So until then, for my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapachet, I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, a.k.a. Fight Feed Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Take care and peace.